You're listening to
Sounds
of the Sidewalk.
I want to tell you a story about endings that are really beginnings, about how we keep singing when the world gives us every reason to stop. It's that time of year when we start looking back and we start reflecting on all that's transpired. But first, I need to tell you something about what we've built here together. Welcome to the season finale of Sounds of the Sidewalk. I'm Shairi. We made it another year!
Yeah! 2025.
Yeah. I'm Shairi, and if you're new here, welcome. But if you've been with us for a while, you already know that this is not just a podcast. This is a bridge. A sacred space where voices often unheard get to tell their stories. And you, listening right now, you're not just an audience, you are witnesses. You're the other half of this conversation. There's something really profound that happens when a story finds its listener. When someone moving through tremendous challenge shares their truth, and you, maybe sitting in traffic or doing dishes or lying in bed, you receive it, you hold it, you let it change you. And that connection, that's the miracle that we've been creating here with this podcast all season long. Much love to you guys. To our listeners on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening in from, you've become a part of our choir. You might not be singing with us on Mondays, but you're harmonizing with us in a different way. You're completing the circuit. You're making sure that these voices echo far beyond our rehearsal space, beyond San Diego, into living rooms and headphones and hearts across the world. So, thank you. And and to the incredible family here at Voices. This year has asked everything of you. And you've answered with grace, with love, with dignity, strength, and music. And the creativity that is our human birthright. To every single choir member who walked through those doors carrying nothing but gave everything, thank you. I know so many of you listening have said it too. This has been a really tough year. There's this quote from Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act, that captures why we keep going here at Voices. It's the goal of art isn't to attain perfection. The goal is to share who we are and how we see the world. And that's what today's guest does every single day. She sees the songwriter and the singer in us all. She helps our choir share who they are beyond their difficulties. She can hear the perfect harmony in a voice that's been silenced by circumstance and sometimes doubt. She helps tell the story of a choir that refuses to stop singing, the story of a community that shows up for each other when the world often can't, the story of how creativity, our human birthright, becomes resistance, becomes healing, becomes home. So let's get into our conversation with my friend and assistant director, Natalie Bradley, about the year we've had, the songs we've sung, and what keeps us coming back every Monday to claim our birthright, to create, to connect, to continue, and those moments in our life when we can look over our shoulder and see how all of the twists and turns have led us to a place where we really, truly belong. You're listening to The Sounds of Reflection.
Hello. Welcome to Sounds of the Sidewalk podcast. Today we have Natalie in the house. Co-host player Naylenie. And yeah, we're about to get into this interview with Natalie and learn a little bit about her.
Yeah, and today for this finale.
Yeah, it's the
finale.
The last
season finale
of the year.
We thought it would only be fit if Natalie came. Natalie Bradley, y'all, because she is the choir director.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, like, how'd you grow up? Was music always a passion for you? Did you always?
Yeah.
Because you told a little story the other day of like how you wanted to marry, being in service and music. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
For sure. Hello. And my mom tells me that like I came out humming. And so since I was like humming and singing before I was speaking, so my ears always like just tap into a tune to music and sounds. And so from an early age, I couldn't stop. My grandma was actually a jazz singer herself. And so I remember when she would come to visit, she would like be singing to us. And then my abuelita on my mom's side would also. And so just music was in my life, like just in the morning when my dad's making breakfast, all that kind of stuff. And so I just loved it. And then I, from an early age, just kind of took notice of the not so Disney perfect things of life. You know, I saw people struggling. I saw people on the street. I saw I remember my grandma always, I was raised to not waste, to be grateful, and like such a big emphasis on not wasting. She was like, you know, mija, there's other people in the world that don't have food, that don't have their needs met. You know, be grateful and like help others, and you know, try to give back and make use of what you have too. So I took that like to heart to the fullest. And so like in a movie, if I saw something kind of sad or tragic, these people are like going through it, or I would be like crying and be like, oh mom, dad, it's not fair, I want to help them. Oh. And so growing up, I kind of like always wondered, I'm like, is there a way for me to be there for people and still keep music in my life, art in my life? And never in 1,000 years would I have, you know, expected or imagined myself here, because it was felt like just the most perfect blend that kind of came to me after meeting a couple choir members who I didn't know were in Voices, but met them through a friend, and they led me here, and now I'm here. But
And you actually were here first as a choir member, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I met Natasha and Kaya. First Kaya. I met her, and we were like kind of like building a friendship, and she invited me out to, we still didn't like totally know each other super deeply yet, but she invited me out to karaoke, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Let's do it. And so I met her, and her other friends were there. Natasha showed up. She was one of her friends who joined us, and that was my first time meeting Natasha. And I had lost my voice, and they both encouraged me, oh, you gotta go up there and sing. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like I can't, but they kept insisting. So I finally go up there and I sung a song, and they liked it, and I came back down. They're like, oh my God, you gotta go to Voices, you gotta go to Voices. And they wouldn't stop talking about it all night. So by the time I left, I was like, okay, I am going to Voices of our city. They had already given me like the time and date and everything, so I put it in my calendar, and I went the following Monday, and it was so just, it really just felt like my people, my community. It felt like home to me, because
Instant connection,
you know. Chris came up to me. I've told you guys this before, but yeah, Chris, a previous choir member who we honored today, he's passed, and he was the first person to walk up to me. I literally walked through the door, and immediately he comes up, hi, welcome sister, it's so nice to meet you, we're so glad to have you here with us today, we're gonna have so much fun, oh my gosh. And I think one of the first songs we ended up singing was Golden, living my life like it's golden, and it was just so like not what I expected, and we were just like having a party in there, and I'm like, man, you guys get down, this is so cool. And I didn't even ask to be like, you know, thrown into the mix so quickly, but Chris and Raven and Kathy, they were all just like, you got this, go for it, join us. And when I got to meet Steph and Leonard for my vocal assessment, they were like, oh, you've sung before. could you maybe like, what do you think about helping us out with some of the singers and maybe in the soprano section? And I was like, if you want, I could try. And then eventually that built, and I was helping out with the choir, and the team offered me the chance to apply for this position as music program manager. And I got it, which at the time I didn't know. They were already kind of like, oh, this would be a perfect fit, and already were kind of planning stuff behind the scenes. But yeah, it's been like an epic opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, when you came in, I feel it all happened very quickly. Before we knew it, we were like, okay, we have a new coworker.
Hello.
Yeah.
I don't really know who I am, but I'm here to help.
But you fit in perfectly. Like you were just the missing link. Like it wasn't like a crazy transition or anything. I remember seeing you in choir like once or twice, and then next time I saw you, we were like, oh, now we're working together. So it was quick.
Give me a beat. 1, 2, 3. This is your part. It was a big learning curve. I mean, you know, coming into Voices and seeing what has been built and wanting to honor the mission and the vision, and also like from my perspective, like hopefully live up to what people hope I can bring or expect. And you know, but knowing like that when especially Steph, Lindsay, and Dennis had kind of discussed the possibility of my role here, just that they believed in me so much, and I was just kind of like hit with a real level of definitely gratitude, but just
What do you say, like a wave of emotions?
Definitely a wave of emotions, but also like I didn't take it lightly. I was like, hey, I trust you guys, and I trust your judgment, and if and all your experience. So like if you guys believe in me, then I believe in me. And like having that reality hit me of wow, when people actually believe in you to do something and to grow and to take that opportunity and really build on it, I was like, wow, this is, you know, sort of something that I on this level have not experienced before, and it's powerful. Like to me it was so palpable, and so that kind of influences me to want to do that for any of our members in the community. I'm like, yo, like people when they like I finally felt that. Yeah. Not to dismiss all the previous people in my life who've also believed in me, but like when there's a real shift, when there's something that happens where you actually now believe in yourself because of the circumstances that they believed in you to do something, I was like, dang, that's transformative. And I see how people can go from here to here just from like encouragement and like healthy, dignified support. And so, you know, I was allowed the room to grow here. I'm like, hey, I didn't finish school, and I wasn't, you know, technically taught teaching methods or anything like that. I wasn't taught to teach, but I'm taking everything that I've been taught and my experience, and then more research and relearning on my end too, to bring that in here and hopefully have our members and anybody that walks through our doors really have the opportunity to like believe in themselves more, because it's a real confidence building game here. Not game, but like that is what we work on. I think initially when I get to meet our members, I'm like, ooh, time to get to, I'm like, yeah, singing and all that, but first you got to believe in yourself. So yeah.
So one of the things that I was gonna say is that a lot of things, just the sound of the choir changed, and the work, and this is just coming from me observing and coming to work every day, but I noticed that the sound of the choir changed. You know, there was harmonies, and people were you know, learning new skills, and I could hear it, you know, from the time you came and you started working with choir members. Can you tell us a little bit about like what you do with choir members, how you help them, you know, when you do one-on-ones, like evaluations, stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I knew already that people, our minds are so powerful, and how we perceive things. And so having heard the choir do, for example, Sounds of the Sidewalk, where they do a harmony in that, you know, like they're already doing something, but when we get to talking about it and breaking it down, hey, I would like you guys to do a harmony where you're not singing things in unison, you're not singing all the same note and parts, but making explaining something, breaking it down can sort of turn it into this big wall to people of something they need to climb over and tackle, where it's kind of like, okay, so let's strip all that back and just, here, you guys sing ooh, you sing ooh, and then you guys sing this. I won't explain what's happening, but inevitably what you're doing is a harmony. So I knew, okay, you guys can do it, but when we go into a new song, for example, and we want to do a harmony, I'm quickly realizing, hey, I can't just be like, you know, explaining away all these things and get maybe the same result as that other song, because it can kind of come off like really daunting. So I've learned in one-on-one sessions with people, and in what I started doing here when I came onto Voices was introduced sectionals, where we take each vocal section, so bass, tenor, alto, and soprano, and we get them together in their own smaller rehearsal groups, and we are breaking down every song, and maybe that means like their own different harmonies. Often in our music we're also singing together in unison, a lot of the same stuff, but then there's times where we branch out, and a song that we really I think did a great job of showing their ability of doing that was in Seasons of Love, which we worked on this year for like the first time in I think Voices' time. It was like I think our first time doing a song like that, which came out of a musical or a musical, and they just like impressed the heck out of me. I was so proud, because it is daunting to look at a long multi-page piece of work of all this sheet music. Most of our choir members, you know, don't read music, and you don't have to. I mean, it's fine. But having something like that to look at is really intense, and to see kind of where we started with that, and just kind of trying to get people to feel open to just doing something like that, so that the mind doesn't let the perception of something so daunting interfere with their very capable abilities to just sing it and not get kind of swallowed by the other many things that are happening in the song at the same time. So when we go in rehearsal, we have like I have one approach to kind of teaching the group that I've started to build upon. I've had to kind of like get a feel of my own teaching approach and methods. There's the group method, there's like a smaller group method, and then like a one-on-one method. And from the one-on-ones, I think that helped me kind of shape my approach, because that's where you get to really kind of like connect with people, and people are a lot more comfortable. Our members are way more comfortable getting to, perspective again is everything. Sometimes people are more comfortable with a couple other people to sing with, because then it's not just their voice. But you know, in the studio together, if it's just me and one other person, I'm like, hey, welcome to the community, nice to meet you, what's going on? And let's get to know each other a little bit. And I'm just a human. I'm not judging you. All voices are completely unique. And I've mentioned this a couple times before. Like sometimes people will say, "Hey, I want to sing like Whitney Houston, or I want to sing like Aretha Franklin or Celine Dion," and I'm like, "Me too." But you know what? Like we have our own voices, and all those amazing singers and just instrumentalists or music artists, all people have like their own true voice and style that they had to refine and get comfortable with, and they couldn't sound like another artist. You know, they had idols and people that they looked up to and were inspired by, but they can't, you know, people are really good at like mimicking other voices and stuff, or replicating stuff, but at the end of the day, when they go and perform their stuff, they're gonna be who they are. And so same for each of the members that we have here. I'm like, hey, we're gonna find your voice and it's gonna be super awesome. And it's asking us to like to look within. No, but it's asking us to like I'm like, I'll get deep. No, but it's asking us to like really hear ourselves. You're building like a deeper connection with yourself, and you're getting to know yourself more and love yourself more. You're like it's practicing self-love, because you're like, often if you want to sound like this other thing, this other sound person, but you hear yourself and it's not that, we want to reject what we're doing. We want to reject us, and that, you know, defies in a way self-love. And so it's kind of like, hey, let's decondition our self-rejection and recondition like embracing and appreciating and loving what our true self really is and sounds like when it comes to singing a song or something, or even just offering like a musical idea. Because in songwriting, that's like super transferable concept. It's like, oh my gosh, we're all together in this room, we all have different lives, experiences, and things to offer, but I would say it's somewhat true for most people. Like, we can feel not super confident in sharing because it's like, oh, I'm one person, who am I to offer, like, you know, who am I to say that this should be this song should be this, we should be saying this or singing this. It's not just my idea, it's a collective. But in that space, we're like, okay, it's okay. In the land of no bad ideas, as we say here at Voices, you know, let's try and get comfortable sharing. And that's still really hard. So people, including myself, we're all kind of like, is what I have to say worthy of being shared in this space? And it is. It like always is. It's, you know, so long as it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I got some stories there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just cool to see people start to get comfortable with themselves, and like that's a really cool transformation to be a part of, and then like witness, and then see people on the other side of that. I'm like, the grass really actually is greener when it comes to you know, building your confidence and sharing your ideas and speaking up, using your voice. So yeah,
it's through everything you were saying, like, I just kept on thinking, like, it's interesting that specifically what you do, I think you allow to have a safe space for people where they can fully be themselves and embrace their differences and like really hone into what makes them unique, and not only learning how to express them, their differences and their artistic expressions and everything, but also knowing how to work in a team and like collaborative, because it's allowing people to be their own unique self and embracing it and teaching them like, hey, like, yeah, like, it's cool you want to be Celine Dion, but you know, like, how about you? Yeah. But you can also use that and create something for something bigger, you know, and be a collective in the choir. So I think it touches like so many different like layers, but it's all possible thanks to like what you bring to the table, because you're empathetic, you comprehend people very well, and I think that you offer a space where people don't feel shame for asking you like further explanation, or like if they don't really grasp the concept, you have a way of breaking it down to where it's very simple to understand. It doesn't matter what your background is, if you know music, if you don't, it doesn't matter. As long as you're there and willing, like, you can do it. So
yeah, thank you. I mean, I will say, as you were saying that, I was like, you know, because like this was all a new thing for me, right? And man, I gotta give it up to teachers, because especially because it's hard, it gets hard, and there have been times where I'm like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or did that come out right, or oh, was that too much? And but it's been like a great environment to learn how to communicate and like meet people where they're at, and even when like maybe I'm tired, it's not my best day, or my brain's just not all together, or I don't have the energy, right, to be totally composed through every session with a group or with individual people. I have learned so much, and it is like helping my bandwidth grow for those sort of situations where I'm kind of like maybe at my rope's end with how I'm explaining something, and maybe it's still not clicking for them, or maybe I have to reverse that perspective and be like, oh, something's not clicking for me. I'm not figuring out how to like hear or see their need right now. Like, how do I convey something? We're trying to work on something, and I'm not getting there with them. So how can I get there with them without making them feel shame or guilt, and or any judgment? And there was one time. I won't like name drop or anything.
Let's bring out a story.
I was like, oh my gosh, but it wasn't as, I feel like I'm hyping it up. It wasn't too crazy, but Seasons of Love. I was teaching this all year, and
we know.
Yeah, y'all heard it. I know you guys are in the choir, but you know every part now. And I mean, it was such a joy to like actually teach that, even though it was just really long-winded. But during one of our sectionals, somebody asked a question, and that it was perfectly valid to ask that question. If you're listening, it was so valid. And I think
valid.
I've been validated. No, truly, I like looking back, I was like, whoa, how did I respond like that? But it was a question that pretty much I had already gone over and taught like what it was like a bajillion times over. And the question kind of like made me feel like I didn't, like, it was questioning what they had to sing. They're like, oh, I thought I had to sing this part. I thought we sung it like this. And I was like, no, no, it's not that way. Like, no. And so I just was like so quick and like straight about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was maybe I didn't need to be so intense about it.
No, seasons of.
I was like, dang. So a teaching moment for me, and I let them know. I was like, oh, you were totally right to ask. That was my bad. It was the end of the day. It was probably
It happens.
my 3,000th time just going through the song. So I was like, that was a me issue. And a good growing moment for me, too, because it's like, that's why I have such high admiration for teachers, educators of all kinds. And just, and that comes to, like, parents and anybody that's helping another person grow. You're like offering what you're guiding them, and that requires like just humility and patience and empathy to be like, oh, they don't know this thing and they're doing their best and they're asking a question, which means they care and they're interacting with what you're doing. And so just kind of shifting my perspective so that I could just like deepen I would say sharpen my teaching approach, and just appreciating that dynamic of like teacher and student. And so, yeah.
I think there's like a lot of dynamics within the room, and part of learning to teach is like not everybody learns the same.
Exactly.
So like you have different approaches by what you're saying, and it's always going to be changing, and we're always learning. The good thing about everything that we do here is that it's a place of growth. Like it's a space for growth, and for us to create that space is what counts. That's where that's where they begin to learn and begin to grow. And next thing you know, you see them and they're performing an original song. Another thought as you were speaking is like I was seeing the journey of like lifting up a voice, right? Like we created this podcast because we wanted our listeners to get to know choir members, not just as a choir member as a whole, but like individually, who makes up this choir, what's their stories, you know, so people could connect also to them and to the work that we're doing here at Voices. So it's a beautiful thing to see, you know, that, you know, even though you weren't speaking about it, it's like, you know, you're lifting up their voice, you're championing that voice, you know. And yeah, sometimes it can be frustrating, but it's just normal for us. We're human beings just like anybody else. You know, we're gonna have our good days, our bad days. For the most part, I see everybody carries themselves in a professional manner here, and we're here for people to grow, and that means me too. Like, I'm growing with you, you know, we're growing together. So it's a beautiful thing to see that, you know, that you're doing that work and lifting up their voice and polishing it and
you know, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off.
And seasons. 1 and 2, 3.
500. Oh my gosh. I could break that down. I will say, Jonathan Larson, who wrote and composed that, I'm like mind blown. It brought my appreciation levels like through the roof, because, you know, for anything that we hear out there, we like get such a immediate, like we hear it at face value, and then when you get like the breakdown, the blueprints, I'm like, oh my gosh, the thought and time that's put into this is incredible. I feel like we do that with our songs and Voices. Like we're I'm like, hi, I'm just gonna steer our conversation a little in another direction real quick. No, but our songs that we do in songwriting are so real. Oh my gosh. And Sounds of the Sidewalk and Being You, for example, are both like super, super cool. They blend different styles, like really hip styles, R&B, soul funk, little hip hop. I feel like there's a little hip hop vibe to Sounds of the Sidewalk. Being You is like kind of got that reggae world sound, and the songs that we're doing now are like also a blend of different genres. But when we get together to write this stuff, to hear the stories that people are sharing, like the real backstories to every line, is just insane. And the same way for you both, when you're getting to sit down with members and you guys are, you know, getting into real stuff about their lives and hearing their backstories, it's like this is like another side of that too, that goes into the music. And I'm like, if only people knew, man, if you had a fly on the wall camera to see and hear the depth of people's experiences that are actually inspiring these lyrics, and still writing them in a way that can hopefully meet our audience's ears, and they can still kind of relate or put themselves in the shoes of someone who's maybe lived those experiences. And it's like such an honor. Yeah, I'm very grateful to be a part of that. So as much as I'm trying to help uplift their voices, the being here has genuinely uplifted mine. And so every time I go into like a session or a songwriting workshop that I'm leading, I get to play around with shaping like what that space could be like, and just really putting a lot of intention into how I enter in that space. What can we inspire?
Yeah, because I think what's cool is that you take a lot of like situations that can be very traumatic or negative in their lives, or situations that they don't really want to, they want to speak up to transform it, and you help transform that into something positive and something that they're proud to talk about and something that they're proud to show and say, you know what, I'm gonna go down the whole sidewalk singing sounds of the sidewalk, the whole block, and you know, they're proud of that. Which leads me to another question that I had. have you always like written music? Like, how did that start for you? Like, in that journey, like.
Yeah. One sec. It's like, I'm here. I gotta take off my jacket. Oh my gosh. No, but since I was like a kid, I was like, I'm gonna be a singer one day. I gotta start writing. So I would really write poetry. I've always been like a deep thinker kind of person, and so I would be at home doodling and writing poetry. I didn't ever step into writing songs until probably like 8th grade in high school.
Yeah.
But the reality is that I had not finished any of my own songs, because I know
Till this day?
Till this day, I'm a chronic pending song pendinger. I just can't seem to finish, because I think it just required. Well, I think it, to a degree, really required that confidence that I'm still to this day working on building and having, and believing in yourself. So I kind of, and combining that with, I don't want to sound like someone else. I don't want to just copy someone else.
Yeah.
But something
original.
Yeah, something original. And what I have to accept is that it's all been done. So, like, what's your version of what's already been done?
It has to be your sound and what makes Natalie, like,
right.
There's not a Natalie everywhere, there's you.
Right. And like, when you look at it, like, all these artists are writing their love songs, their experiences. Yeah, and we are all like crazy similar. We're having very similar internal experiences. And so it's kind of like, whether it's going to be on the charts or not, it's still worth writing and creating and putting out there for my own self. And so this year has been my first real journey of like finishing one of my own songs. And
what's the name of this?
It's called actually, very on point, Relax and Release, or R&R. And I'm still tossing it up. I'm like, should I call it R&R and let them figure it out, or Relax and Release and just be straight with it? But it's like chill, trying to give it like a little bit of like a, I don't know, neo soul singer-songwriter vibe. And but I had Ed and Aaron help me like kind of put together some chord progressions with it and create a little sound for me to flow with. But I still gotta finish it. I'm like, maybe that's
nice.
what I'll do tonight when I go home. I'm like, I talked about it. I have to make it.
It's fresh in the mind. Like,
I need to relax and release. It was literally a song. I was like, this is what I just gotta do. Oh my gosh. Just calm down.
The to-do list. You're like,
let it. The song is actually a to-do list. Don't forget the broccoli at the grocery store.
And finish your song.
And finish the song. Period. That's it.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, I was like a little poet that I just kind of kept it to myself. I wasn't like going to poetry nights or open mic nights and like revealing any of it, but I was at home and I liked arts of many kinds. I would be up until like 4 a.m. sometimes with my canvas, and I'd be painting. I used to paint a ton and draw a lot, and I wanted to go to art school. When I was denying my path of music, I was like, I'm gonna be a fine arts major and go like do some painting and all the things I could think of in that direction. But then I remember when I had to like officially submit my application to the arts academy up in San Francisco, and I was like, I just can't do it. I gotta go with music. And so I ended up pivoting right back to music. And then that's when I went to Mount Sac, San Antonio College up in Walnut, California, right next to Cal Poly Pomona. And I dove so deep into just learning and absorbing, connecting the dots of music, the fundamentals and of what it takes to write music. So music composition, which music theory and musicianship are like what branch out from there. the building blocks. I kind of like didn't sit down. I didn't have the time to sit down and like write anything of my own. Maybe for like an assignment you write like a quick little theme or something, but no actual music of my own. And you know, albeit I was working like 2 to 3 jobs and didn't have a car, so I'm like.
And then you were on the choir too.
Yeah,
at that time, right?
Yeah, I was in my I was in many choirs. I was like in the all women's ensemble. I was in one of our 2 vocal jazz ensembles. I was in Frontline. There was another called Syncopation. They were both very exceptional. And then I was in just like the open concert choir that they have there, and but auditioned to be in the chamber choir, which, you know, was a competitive choir. They were all competitive to a degree actually, but I really wanted to be in chamber choir. I remember hearing my first concert, or going to one of my first concerts of theirs, and like getting just, my skin was my hairs were raised on my arms. Tingling, yeah.
Chills.
Got the chills. Thank you. I was like,
Yeah.
what did they call that? Got the chills, and jaw was to the floor. I was just kind of like in this ethereal space, and knew, I'm like, oh, this is my next goal. I got to get in here. I feel it. I need it. And that taught me so much of what I'm trying to kind of like slowly usher into here. Because it had offered me such a genuine level of not just like professionalism, but just putting into reality what we really want at the end of the day, which is to do something meaningful. And that requires dedication and persistence, lots of practice, and being, you know, real with yourself. You have to grow. You're like, I'm actively growing, and growing requires growing pains. And so my self-awareness built a lot, I feel like, and I just had to take it really seriously. And, you know, we treated it, I don't want to say like a job, but yeah, like a job. Like I gotta go home and I gotta
It was like a boot camp, it sounds like.
Yeah, for future experiences.
Right.
Yeah, like it sounds like all that you went through, it was boot camp for this. Like
me a little
someone
montage.
somewhere knew that they had to put you through boot camp. So they got you intensive chorus, not 1, not 2, not 3. You said like 6.
I mean, yeah, I was in like a few, not all of them, but I mean, yeah, you're right. If like we
Not only that, you also worked.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you still had classes.
Yeah.
So that sounds very intensive.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it really helped out now. Like Natalie now is like, thank you for going through all of that.
so much.
Because now you can relax and really focus. You know what to focus on better, I think.
Definitely. Like it gave me perspective, for sure. It gave me tools, it gave me perspective. And now when I come in here, I'm like, all right, we're not a competitive choir, and I'm not grading you technically. And you know, but it's just trying to build like that same kind of aspiration of wanting to grow as a human being who expresses. And here we express not only through singing, but we've got improv, acting, writing, art, and I'm like, what else? So we were
Performances.
and like all our performances. I mean, so I would say every performance, and even just every song. But yeah, every performance is an art piece. Like we get to create like a lasting impression on others and on ourselves. Like they're all footprints in our experience. And I think this year, oh my gosh, like every single performance, I was kind of like, wow, I'm really, really impressed and proud of everybody.
You read my mind.
You know? Yeah. Because, geez, like I feel like over the past 2 years of being here, people would come up and be like, wow, they sound so good. And I'm like, thank you so much. But when you're working so closely to something, it's hard to witness the progress in real time. It's happening, but you're like moving with it. So, but then this year I was like, I can't remember, was it,
Sing along?
it was, I think it was either our live album or behind the music.
Okay.
Where, and at our gala, just most definitely the gala, where I was just in awe. I'm like, man, I can see the growth, I can hear it, and in sectionals, that's where I'm like, why am I thinking of a performance? It was in sectionals where I hear people coming together and people are unifying and blending and really opening their ears up. And as a musician, it's you just gotta really remember, you gotta open up your ears more, listen more than you're speaking, or listen harder than you're singing, because there's so many other things happening, and I'm bearing witness to that in our choir. So it was just kind of like yay, congratulations to all of you, and I'm so proud because I'm able to now hear and see what everybody else has been telling me. They're like, oh, we've seen, such strides made, and I'm like, thank you, I believe you. And this year I'm like, yeah, you're right, I hear
you're listening, and
yes. Yeah, so that's really cool. And now I'm like, I love teaching. Now I'm like, okay, cool, I'm developing my own approaches and all of that. So yeah, it's been really, really nice.
So in this year, what are some highlights that stood out for you that, like, you felt were inspiring to you and to others? Like, what are some of those highlights throughout the year? Take us back. Take us through the.
Take you all the way back. All the way back to January 23rd, where we were at Beth Israel, and we did our Hours of Freedom performance, and just seeing some of our soloists come up there. I was like not expecting people to just take it away and do such a great job. I would say another moment for me was getting to hear Wendell and Anthony, because I hadn't heard them on a solo yet. And so that was really incredible. They sung Hallelujah along with, was it Io? I believe Io. And yeah, honestly, all three of them. I had heard Io more because she's a soprano, so I had been working with the sopranos already. So, but getting to hear everybody on that, and that song means so much to people. People were like, when are you going to do Hallelujah? When are you going to do Hallelujah? And so we finally brought it in. Me and Steph and I were like, okay, Hallelujah. We will do Hallelujah. The people have spoken. And and so we did it, and it was just cool to see how excited people got. Wendell was listening to the Pentatonics version, and I was like, that's so cool. It's very, they have like really rad arrangements of everything. And yeah, I'm like, I just want to see more people do solos. But let's see, another really, the Seasons of Love, for real. That was wild. When we first performed it with La Jolla Playhouse at their gala, that kind of like lit up something in me of like, wow, we can really we can dig way deeper into the songs that we do. I can dig, it helped my mind kind of relax into my imagination more with whatever arrangements I dream up for other songs that we're doing, or to reimagine the songs that we've been doing in our own songs. Yeah, I was like, we can do other stuff, like they got this. And oh my gosh.
Quick pause. Is that still filming?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
we're at 45.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure, because it could sometimes it just turns off. But
I set it up so it wouldn't.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Let's continue.
I'm back. No, but let's see, there's so many things that happen in the year that my brain, we're so focused on one event, and then as soon as it's done, I have to immediately hyper focusing on what we're doing for the next event. And genuinely though, I think it was I wrote it on a sticky note. It's on my desk, and it says the date, and it was songwriting today. Just felt like a really amazing room of artists. Every person in there was had so much intent in what they were doing, and offering and collaborating on. So it just felt like a room of writers and artists who were there to create something super special, and it just...
Do you
it was
remember
on
what
such a
song it
level.
was?
We were still in like the brainstorming phase.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like decided on like what song we were doing yet, but I think what we had been writing eventually worked its way into our most recent song, And Still We Sing.
Uh-huh.
And I was just afterwards like, wow, that felt so amazing. Like from where maybe a couple years ago it was still kind of like, hey guys, it's okay, raise your hand, like you can offer, you can share, you're allowed to share, and you don't have to, but you know what you have to say matters. What you have to say is important, and always has a place in this world. And that's like, I think half the battle for any of us is like, again, is what I'm offering special? Does it matter? Is it gonna change anything? And I have to I like to remind people, like, absolutely, man, like maybe what you said, it won't be an exact line in the song, but it could inspire us to talk about something differently and like look at something differently. It could inspire this idea and that idea, and it could also just end up in our song too. Yeah. So like, you never know. And getting to see some of our members like reactions when they do end up sharing and they didn't think they had anything special, and they share, and I'm like, that was amazing. Everybody's like, wow, that was so great. And they're like, oh really? And I'm like, yes, see, we don't know, because our thoughts and ideas are always up in our head, so we're used to it, but then they don't know what's going on up there, so it's super cool to hear what you have. It's different. And yeah, it was just remarkable to hear people's like versions of reality. Like, if we're going to be singing about something, we're discussing the different angles of that topic. So for And Still We Sing, we're talking about, I'm like, why do we show up every time? Like, why do we come here and do this? And what's at the root of all that? And so people just like sharing their stories and their reasons, their why. It always results in like these epic conversations that are extra special because they're not being recorded. We're just having them, and so it's just like a one-time special moment. And in this particular day, it was kind of like, wow, that was breathtaking. Really, though, it was. And I was like, oh, this is special. I feel so like honored to be in the room with you guys. Jeez. And then getting to do that song itself, I think it was kind of different from everything else we had done, And Still We Sing. And yeah, it's now, I think, for me, something that really I'm excited. I'm getting hyped up to see other people getting hyped up. Because before, I would feel like maybe there was a timidness to like, I don't know if I can offer my name up to solo on something, or but I'm seeing a lot more intrigue or like excitement from people to do certain songs and to sing solos, and asking questions of like, can we do this, and offering their ideas. And I'm like, that's right, that's what this is about. We're all artists here, we're all collaborating on what we want to do and what our performances look like. And so that's a good sign to me, is like, okay, cool, people are using their voice, they're stepping up and offering their insights, and excited to do what's next. Yeah. So this is a very, I know, can you guys hear that?
Yes.
The jingle jangles from our little
I know, just from our little Christmas extravaganza holidays.
I just want to
Happy holidays to all you listeners out there.
Yeah, we have a gift. Oh, it's right on the tree.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, who would have thought?
I wonder who left that there.
Who would have thunk, right? So we had a secret little project going on that I know you kind of heard about, but you don't know the details about. In this Santa hat that we present right over here, we collected some responses from the choir. So we did a question for the choir asking them to share their favorite memory or favorite, like a message about you, a memory with you, something that they would love to say to you. And what a better time for us to discuss this and make it into a little game.
I hear all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you hear all kinds of stuff? Oh, you hear the people screaming? Oh, yeah.
Hear a little cat in the hat. No, y'all are gonna make me cry. I didn't.
You didn't expect that?
I didn't expect that at all. I was trying to figure out, like, I wonder what they got planned.
You're like, you saw me cutting the papers, folding them up.
Yeah, I was like, okay, a deeper questionnaire, apparently. No, but,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm glad I didn't put on mascara. From Shane. Okay, Natalie has been so instrumental in the resurrection of me as a singer. She is a perfectionist and understands so much about the instrument we use and how to fine-tune it, our voice. My favorite thing recently has been creating a square with my mouth to soften hard vowels, like the word clean when sung. Not using a wide smile mouth, but rather a square mouth to soften the harshness of the long E sound into something softer and more pleasant. I call it my vocal embouchure. Like shaping your mouth and lips to assist in creating a nicer sound. So thank you, Shane. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I'm glad you like it.
Somebody's learning.
You want us to read them to you, or you want to read them?
Sure. I'm like, I'm gonna keep all these.
Let's
make a little scrap.
let's start reading some. Let's see. This one is from Irma Gutierrez. Hi, Natalie. Oh no, it says hi. Natalie has made a difference in so many ways. Such a beautiful and talented soul. Love her.
Aww, hearts. Thank you, Irma. Oh.
Here's one from Anthony. Hello there, Anthony. Hope you're listening. Natalie's knowledge, enthusiasm, joy in teaching music is infectious. And I got the bug. Thank you, Natalie.
Yay! I'm so glad that you got the bug. I'm not scaring you off with these crazy exercises.
The box.
Sheila Burden.
Wait, who was it?
Sheila.
Oh, Sheila. Cool.
And she says, Natalie is a breath of fresh air, a joy to all of those around her. She lights up her room. She's my sister in Christ, and I love her. Miss Sheila.
Miss Sheila.
Sheila. Big hugs. Big hugs.
Carrie Benershk. Natalie, your professionalism and radiant spirit is a gift, and your joy is evident to all who know you. I am blessed to call you friend.
Friend. Thank you, friend. Thank
Do we
you,
have time for another
Oh my
one? Or
gosh.
what's up?
I'm smiling so hard that like I can feel my like head is my muscles are reacting. Oh my gosh.
Because we have a good chunk.
You
still.
guys.
Let's see.
This is so sweet.
What is the document? Do you want me to like call out a specific one?
You want? I don't know. This is a Dennis Garcia wrote this. My favorite moment working with Natalie is when she helped me become more confident in myself for a solo. It's so sweet.
What was Dennis's range? Because he came out the room like...
Yes.
Like he
He
was born
said,
again. Like
yes.
he slid up on the door, like, you know, like...
Yeah. He literally went,
Yeah,
as he should.
he said, you got nothing on me. You got nothing on me.
Truly. No, I was saying I feel like he's a countertenor, which they can like sing is really, really high, like sopranos. He sings really, really high. So he first came in and was thought to be a bass, albeit for those who are listening, and if you don't know, Dennis is a really, really tall individual. He's like, what, 6'6" or something like that?
Very
6'4",
tall.
6'5".
Pretty tall.
Pretty tall.
Tall is what
Tall.
we say. And so I think people just were like, oh, he's got to be a bass. So he was in the basses. And then one day, I was like, I don't know. I thought I heard something different coming out of him. And I'm like, we should do another assessment. And he had like a
boot camp ear came out.
Yeah, he had a 3-octave range. He could sing from like with the tenors all the way to my highest note in my range. So I was kind of like, all right, guys, this needs to be sung aloud to the peoples and let them know. I'm so glad that you're feeling your voice, Dennis. It's incredible and it's one of a kind.
Natasha. I met Natalie at karaoke. And I heard her singing and invited her to choir. The first day she came, introducing her to some people, she said, I feel at home here. Natalie worked with me on many one-on-ones, showing me my potential and the power of practicing patience, vocal warm-ups, and doing funny faces and sounds. Huh? They learning. When I saw Natalie perform at her own show at the Jazz Lounge, she sang in Portuguese, and she sang for her brother and me, and late choir member and brother Juan had tears streaming down our faces. I couldn't keep it short. Tasha.
Thanks, Tasha. Natasha, my fellow namesake.
Karma La Donna. When she introduced sheet music, love her. It's straight to the point.
Yes, one of the few.
Dr. P. Patricia Williams. A wonderful experience with Natalie is our time for one-on-one voice practice. Her perfect pitch voice is such a pleasant sound. Love it, Dr. P.
Thank you, Dr. P. Also perfect pitch. Here we go.
I have
you.
Luis Enrique Gutierrez.
Tocayo.
It says, I love it when Natalie rides in the front of the bus and leads us through some voice warm-ups. She does that before our best concerts.
Oh, that's right.
Shout out to Luis.
We got our wave sound.
Here we go, fellas. Better get on the train. Thank you, Natalie, for teaching us the meaning and understanding of singing. I have learned so much from you.
That's so sweet.
That's big fellas right there.
Oh, like you got all that from me. Thanks.
I think this is the last one from Lorna de la Cruz.
Lorna.
She says, so grateful for how Natalie loves our choir and believes in us beyond our wildest dreams. Her labor of love and every detail brings out the very best in each person. Not seeking perfection, but bringing out extraordinary excellence.
Oh my god.
Oh,
that was very sweet.
I'm gonna walk out of here just like with my foot popping out, like squirming with joy. I appreciate that though, because I'm like, so funny that you can hear in one of the from the first to the last saying like I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, low key, I kind of am. But I don't want to expect perfection for anything or anybody, including myself or others, because that ain't reality. But thank you so much. I'm
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this, even when we started talking about it, when we told you, it was, I guess, to create a space where we can give you your roses and show you how much we all appreciate you. Going from the choir member, as you can see, we wanted to bring them in, to all of us that we work with you, and I think that you coming to Voices has helped make this choir better and this whole community better, honestly. So I can't really imagine it without you anymore. So like you're a shining star.
Shining star.
No matter who you are. Yeah.
Another thing, based on what you were talking about and all these about songwriting and all these original concepts, there is an album coming, right, from Voices of Our City Choir.
Yes, sir.
Which is exciting. You're a part of that. You guys are gonna make history. And
here we are.
it seems like maybe a song is gonna get finished soon. Yeah.
You're like, perhaps. Yes, sir. So our album, Here We Are. We're currently working on refining Falling Upward, and so that is the first on our task list of finally finishing that one up. We'll be in the recording studio very soon. And fun fact, I've never sung myself in like a professional recording studio.
Oh, yeah. It's a feeling.
Yeah, lots of firsts happening, but we're growing, and thank you guys so much. Thanks for having me. Love you all. Thank you all for being here. Beautiful messages.
Thank you for being here. And do you have a message for those out there listening to you and your story and everything you are and everything you do here?
Sure, actually, if I could say anything, I'm like, I don't want to be on a soapbox, but I'm just like, just being really, really grateful for the opportunities we have for us, and realizing, like, staying open to things even when you're not certain. Like, I was so uncertain of what I could bring to this community and, like, what I had to offer, and I took the leap, and I'm really, really glad I did, and I feel like it's just something that I wouldn't have believed if I didn't experience it myself. So I'm like, take those leaps into what you think is darkness, but the world, like the communities that we have, like are super ready to catch you and see you climb like any mountains that you have. And so it's just don't sell yourself short, and just kind of like love on yourself more, so
Love on yourself.
Self-love, like that's genuinely, I think, what I had to learn from coming into this community. So I want to offer that to anybody listening or watching. Love you.
Beautiful voice by our wonderful guest, Natalie. And with that, we are signing out. Sounds of the Sidewalk. I am Naylenie Castillo.
Enrique Rivera.
And Natalie Bradley.
See ya.
Bye. Bye, guys. Cuteness.
Hey, before you go, this is Shairi. I want to close this season out with what's on my heart. As I mentioned at the top of this episode, for so many of us, this year has been incredibly challenging. I know it's very likely that you, listening right now, are facing some sort of hardship. Maybe you're driving to a job that barely covers rent. Maybe you're caring for someone who's sick. Maybe you're wrestling with your own losses, your own fears about housing, your own moments of feeling unseen. And yet, you keep showing up. I keep showing up. And I guess what I want to share is that so many of my dear friends here in this choir understand intimately that life can strip so much away. And yet, here we are, just like you. They keep showing up. This choir still shows up every Monday, still creating, not because they're selling hope in a bottle, but because they're living proof that creativity isn't a luxury. It's how we survive. It's how we remember. It's how we heal. My years with this choir has taught me something really profound, that we don't show up in spite of hardship. We show up because hardship is an invitation. When circumstances tempt our hearts to harden or become bitter, we can choose softness and love. We can choose to keep our hearts open. They know this. They live this. Rick Rubin, a favorite, he wrote, "Creativity is not a rare ability. It's not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Our birthright. Not something you earn when you have a home, not something reserved for those with stability. It's as essential as breath. It's your birthright, person listening to me right now. And this is what I've learned in my time here. When someone experiencing homelessness picks up a pen during our songwriting workshops, they're not just writing lyrics, they're claiming their birthright. When voices join together in harmony despite sleeping the rough night before, that's not entertainment. That's an act of radical humanity. This year tested us. We watched our choir members, our friends, struggle with street sweeps, with policy changes, with the exhausting reality of surviving without shelter in San Diego. But we also watched miracles unfold. Members finding housing, new voices joining rehearsals, songs being born from pain and transforming into beauty. And every Monday, we gather to share who we are, the broken parts, the healing parts, the powerful parts, the lighthearted and silly parts, the parts still searching for home. And in that sharing, we remember that we're not alone in these cracks in the sidewalk. So, thank you. Here's to a year of showing up. To you, to the choir, to all of us, to all the voices we carry forward in our songs. I'll say it again for the seats in the back. To every choir member who walked through these doors carrying nothing but still gave everything. And to you, Our listeners, thank you for witnessing this journey. Thank you for expanding our universe. Now, if these stories have moved you, if you believe, as we do, that creativity is a human right, that every voice deserves to be heard, that music can be medicine, that fostering community is how we strengthen our beloved city, I want to invite you to become part of this work in a deeper way. Your donation to Voices of Our City doesn't just fund a choir. It funds humanity. It funds Monday meals for people who might not eat otherwise. It funds songwriting workshops where pain becomes poetry. It funds case management that helps our members find housing. It funds a radical belief that no one is disposable, that everyone has a song worth singing. And if you're able, and only if you're able, because I know we're all walking through our own challenges, please visit voicesofourcity.org and consider making a donation. Whether it's $5 or $500, every dollar says these voices matter. This work matters. You matter. And if you can't donate right now, that's okay. Keep listening, keep sharing, keep bearing witness to these stories, because your presence here, that matters too. Thank you. Thank you for walking with us through this season. Thank you for believing in the power of music to heal, to connect, to transform. Thank you for helping us prove that art isn't something we do when all our other needs are met. It's how we remember we're human when everything else tries to convince us otherwise. Until next season, keep finding each other in those cracks in the sidewalk. Keep climbing toward the light, and remember, creativity is your birthright too. This is Shairi signing off from Sounds of the Sidewalk. Keep singing, San Diego. And Voices of Our City, keep creating the music that makes our city home.